Going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that just joined us, you came in with your cameras off and your microphones muted. If you could please keep your microphones muted. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box and we will answer those questions at the end of each segment. And, okay, I have let everyone in. Lisa, if you want to go ahead.
Lisa, I think you're on mute.
Thank you very much. Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this marketing training. For those that don't know me, my name is Lisa Hyatt. I'm with the Thomas Jefferson Soil and Water Conservation District based out of Charlottesville. I am the chair of the association's marketing committee. The marketing committee is charged with helping districts all throughout the state with developing marketing materials, developing outreach strategies, providing resources to all the districts to really get the word out about all the good work that all the districts do throughout the state. Some districts are lucky enough to have, outreach staff that's like the core focus of their job is getting the word out about everything that they do, while other districts are much smaller and don't really have that staff person or a number of resources. So my goal with the marketing committee is to really provide as much in the way of resources or tools or templates or what have you to every district, so every district can get the word out about all their programs on a variety of platforms, whether it be print media, videos, social media, websites, that sort of thing. So the marketing committee for the past couple years, I took over the chair position last year after Emily Gibbs stepped away from the soil and water world. But she had started working on what we call a marketing toolkit. So this would be like an online resource that any district staff could go to and find templates, articles, how-tos, websites, things like that to do a variety of marketing materials. So this is something that's been in the works for quite a while. We're really, really excited to finally announce that this marketing toolkit is ready for prime time. And so this training is going to be going through that toolkit page by page and showing everybody all the awesome resources that are going to be available to everyone. This toolkit will be available in the next couple days, like I said, on the association's website. When it is up and live on the website, we will send out a like an all district email to everyone with a direct link so everyone can go right to it. But stay tuned for that. That'll be in the next day or two. So without further ado, we're ready to show it off. Like was said earlier, if you have questions as we go along, we're going to kind of go by topic on each page of the toolkit. If you have a question relating to that topic, go ahead and drop it in the chat box. And I will pause before we go on to the next page and we can answer questions that may have come up. And then we'll also have a little time at the very end if you think of any other questions. So feel free to use that chat box. The other staff will be monitoring the chat box and will let me know if questions come in. So I'm going to share my screen here, hopefully. Okay. So marketing toolkit, like I said, has a variety of resources depending on topic. And the marketing toolkit, I envision this as something that will grow over time. So this is sort of our first initial draft of some resources, but I really want this to be something that as other soil and water staff find new resources, find a great how-to article that answered a question for you, or you found a great website that helped you, I really hope that everybody submits additions to this This is something we could definitely add to. I hope it's something that will grow over the years and just be a library of lots and lots of great material for everyone to use. So like I said, this is sort of our first go at it, but I do envision this being something that will grow into something larger. So one of the first topics in the toolkit is website building. Last year, the marketing committee sent out what we called a web presence survey to every district throughout the state. We got about half of the districts in the state to respond to the online survey. The survey asked questions about whether or not districts had websites, social media accounts, how often they updated these things. And the idea behind the survey was to find out what kind of things that the marketing committee, in terms of training or resources, could offer districts. What were the areas that everybody was lacking in? And one of the areas that we found was website building. There are actually a handful of districts within the state who don't have websites for lots of reasons. Either they don't know how to set up a website, they don't have the staff to maintain a website, maybe they have a website, but it's a little old. It's not updated regularly, no one's really in charge of it. So one of the very first items we wanted to add to the toolkit is some resources that could help folks design and produce a website. So on the toolkit, we have four websites here that offer how-to templates, Wix being one of them that you could see here. These websites are great if you've got a limited amount of staff, maybe a limited budget for website building. You can't hire, a website guru to design you a beautiful website. These websites like Wix and Squarespace, these are designed for the kind of DIY, do-it-yourselfer to at least get you a basic website. And then there's also options to add advanced features like online stores or blogs. But at the very minimum, you can get a basic website out there to get your name out there in the community. And we did hear from some districts that said, well, we have a website, but we don't really update it much. We more so rely on Facebook or Instagram to get the word out about what we're doing. But I would encourage everyone to at least have even a basic website. Think about all the times that you yourself have Googled a business or some organization to find out maybe their contact information, their phone number, where the business is located, their hours. And if you've been like me and you've come across that a business doesn't have a website, you kind of go, ooh, why don't they have a website? I can't even find their hours that their office is open. So think about it that way, that, a lot of people still use Google, still use just the general search engines to find businesses and organizations. So even having a basic website, very simple with some program information, your contact information is really, really important. So don't forget about that. If you don't have a website, I would encourage you to at least get a simple website out there, as well as social media. So we also have some great how-to articles. Some of these are from these actual sites. So Wix has a great tutorial on how to set up websites. They'll walk you through the process. Like I said, these websites are geared for the do-it-yourselfer. You do not need to be a web programmer to set up a basic website. Anyone with even basic computer knowledge can do this. So these how-to articles, I would highly encourage anyone thinking about setting up a website, go through these little tutorials, pick a template, and get out there on the web. A couple of important points, setting up a website and things that Wix and Squarespace and Weebly will help you with is picking a template with a color palette. Something you want to do is have consistency across your web pages. So by utilizing something like a template on Wix or Squarespace, you're going to get consistency across all your pages. You're going to have a color palette, maybe 3-4 colors, and you're going to have consistency over every page. And that's just going to make your website look very polished, very professional, looks like you spent time and have it professionally done. So I would encourage the use of templates. It's the best way to go. You don't have to start from scratch. They've already done the hard work for you. The next section on our toolkit is newsletters. I know from our online survey, we asked about newsletters, and quite a few districts do still use newsletters. These days, most folks are using online newsletters, so email newsletters that go out maybe on a monthly or quarterly basis. And newsletters are a really great way to talk to the community about potential program application deadlines that are coming up, announcing new programs, start at the fiscal year, the new VAX program that's coming out that year, or when you have new money allocated and you really want to get the word out. An email newsletter can be a great tool for that. And on our toolkit, we have two options, Mailchimp and Constant Contact. If you've ever dealt with any sort of email newsletter, Mailchimp, Constant Contact are probably the most popular ones out there. Pricing for these does range on how many email addresses you're going to be sending these out to, how much content, that sort of thing. So it does vary depending on how big of a list you're going to have. The great thing about some of these email newsletters is that you can also get some analytics. So right here, they're going to show you the audience management tools. This is going to tell you how many folks actually opened up your email newsletter, how they engaged with your content, and that's going to give you some really good insight into how you might change things up, how you might get more attention for the things you're sending out. So I would say if you're going to start an email newsletter, or if you're already doing one but you're not utilizing some of these tools that are within Mailchimp or Constant Contact, I would encourage you to do that. That will really help you focus in on what's working for your email newsletter and perhaps what isn't. One last note about email newsletters is that you really should be getting permission to add folks to your email newsletter. One thing that we are starting to do at TJ is on our application documents, we're going to have a opt-in or an opt-out of our email newsletter. You do want to have permission to start sending folks email newsletters, or at very least an opt-out option when they first receive that email newsletter. We all can sympathize with getting unsolicited emails. It really kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth. You wonder how they got your information. So I would say take the time to definitely obtain that permission from folks. It's just going to make for a happier audience. Lastly, on this page, we do have some helpful how-to articles and some YouTube videos. These are directly from Mailchimp and Constant Contact. If you're a video watcher like I am, you can watch these YouTube videos. Mailchimp will walk you through step-by-step on how to set up your first newsletter. These are great, quick, I think this is just a few minutes long video on how to do that. All right, before I move on to the next topic, do we have any questions from the chat box?
We do, Lisa. And one thing, if you're clicking on links, someone put in, we're not seeing the link that you're clicking.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, so if you clicked on Wix and all, we're not seeing where it's taking you, just a
Okay.
FYI.
Okay, that's unfortunate. I don't think I know how to fix that. Darn, that's really a shame. I was hoping you guys could see that. Okay.
Just a quick note, you may have shared the program window and not your screen or monitor. So it's staying on whatever you have this image on, or this page.
Okay.
True, Lisa, just a stop share and re-share of the web page that came up might fix that.
Okay, thank you all for that.
And we do have one question that, can you share some rough estimates on how much it costs to hire someone to design a basic website, and any tips on the hiring process? Ari also dropped some rough estimates that he's run into as well, but if you can address that to the group, if you have any suggestions.
I personally do not. I think it can range quite a bit. I'm gonna maybe put someone on the spot. If I know Chuck Moran is a website designer and he designed our TJ website. Chuck, do you mind if I put you on the spot and give us, as a professional in that industry, give us a range of costs for setting up a web page?
No, go ahead and put me on the spot.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, good to see you, Lisa. Yeah, thanks for the question. Somebody said in the chat that it ranges from free almost when you do it yourself all the way up to several thousands of dollars. Honestly, most of our websites we do build on WordPress. They typically at the lower end start at about $2,000, $2,500 and can go up from there. We're working on one that's very complicated with a database and all kinds of things. So typically a lot of our sites come in the $3,500 to $5,000 range. Although I have to say we're considering offering a program to the association members. So if that takes form, we'll be back to you with a sort of a web development kit that may answer that need for a number of people. So yeah, it's one of those things that's sort of like getting your kitchen remodeled. How much does that cost? It depends a ton on what you want in it, numbers of pages, how complicated it is. If it's one page, if it's 20, all that. So hope that answers the question.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck. I'm glad you were on the call to answer that. And I hope that package for association members comes through. I think that would be a great thing, especially for the districts who don't have web pages and are kind of at a loss on how to get started. So thank you guys for working on that. Was that the only questions in the chat box? Were there any others that came in?
That's it.
Okay. All right. So social media, as you can imagine, has its own page within the toolkit. We could probably do an entire training just on social media. And probably further down the road, we will do more concentrated trainings. The marketing committee will do more concentrated trainings on social media. Today, we have a lot of topics to get through. So we'll just briefly touch on social media. And I'm going to share a notes page with all of you. So this is the toolkit page. Just real quick before I switch to the next screen, obviously some of the most popular social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We did hear through the online presence survey that most districts do have a social media presence. Like I said, some districts who don't have web pages actually rely more on social media. A few districts have all of these social media platforms and maybe even a couple others. Most districts, though, we found are just doing either Facebook or just doing Instagram. And one thing I wanted to mention is that I would really encourage folks to, if they just have a Facebook page, consider adding Instagram or vice versa. There are studies showing that younger audiences right now are geared more towards Instagram, while older audiences are gearing more towards Facebook. So in order to gather all of your audience, I would suggest adding Instagram if you don't have Instagram, or adding Facebook if you don't have Facebook. And that way you're really covering a wide range of members of our community. So social media, everyone's really probably familiar with most social media platforms. Most of us are on Facebook, Instagram, some of us are on Twitter, some of us have YouTube channels. But social media can be a really great, low cost, mostly free option if you're not doing paid advertisements, to get the word out there in the community about programs you're doing, events, field days, contests, signups, all sorts of things at the click of a button, right? We're all on our phones, we're all on the go. This is a great way to get that information right out there into the community. I would say to gather likes and followers. If your district has a Facebook page, but you don't have a lot of followers, you don't have a lot of activity, encourage your staff to like and share your posts on social media, tag other partner organizations out there that may do work with you. For example, at TJ, we partner with the James River Association on tree planting projects. JRA has a pretty good Facebook followers. So tagging JRA in our post, sharing things that they do, that's a great way to get new followers, to get your information out there. You can also tag other great organizations. Just start thinking about who you work with. You know, Chesapeake Bay Foundation, DCR has a Facebook page, DEQ has a Facebook page, NRCS. Just start going through your mind on all the programs you work with, all the partners you work with, and make yourself a list and start following those other pages. And when they share great content, you share it, you tag them. That's how that engagement is how you're going to get new followers and get likes and get interest in your page. Another idea too is keeping your posts short and simple. You know, how many times have we come across a post on Facebook with a paragraph long information? The likelihood that you're going to go through all that information and read every single line is probably pretty slim. So remember to keep your posts short, simple, an attention grabbing headline, a few short sentences. If you do have longer content, remember maybe perhaps share a link, send folks to your website. That's a great way to get traffic to your website. If there's additional content that you want them to read through, or perhaps an application document that they need to fill out, drive that traffic to your website by utilizing your social media.
Lisa, can I stop you real quick? This is Ann.
Sure.
But when you, as Kendall suggested, maybe before you get too far forward, unshare your screen and then reshare your desktop. That way you can show both websites. I'm not sure if moving forward you have anything you want to show on your website, but that might be something. And if you needed me to chat while you figure that out, I could talk about Hootsuite, unless you were going to talk about it.
I am going to talk about Hootsuite.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. I was trying to buy you some time if you do need to do that switcheroo. So
thank you.
So if you click on that, I don't think people can see it.
Yep, I haven't been clicking on anything yet. I'm just talking.
Oh, okay.
Thank
all
you.
Right, they were turning purple. So all right, sorry to interrupt.
So another good thing for grabbing viewers' attention is short, informative videos. Everyone really, I think, enjoys seeing a quick video than reading long content. So if you have links to a great video that you found on YouTube or that your district has made, remember that that videos tend to gather more viewers than just straight, content, straight, words on a page. A video can be really helpful. As Ann mentioned, something that we use at TJ is Hootsuite, and I'm going to attempt to go to Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a social media management platform. So Hootsuite is a spot that you can, oh goodness, I can't do this. Hootsuite is a social media management platform. So it's one place that you can manage all of your social media platforms. So it's kind of one-stop shopping for managing your Instagram page, for managing your Facebook page. Can everybody see Hootsuite on their screen right now? Yay, thank you, Chuck. So we found that Hootsuite is really fantastic for managing our platforms. The great thing about Hootsuite is you can spend time setting up your content, so setting up your posts ahead of time and getting them into a calendar that will automatically post to Instagram, Facebook, what have you, as the days come up. So it's not a job that somebody's got to remember every day or every week to post to Facebook. If you spend a little bit of time setting up once on Hootsuite, it'll do the work for you. So that's a great option for, especially for districts that have a limited amount of staff, or this isn't one person's sole job, is utilizing something like Hootsuite. The cost for Hootsuite depends on the plan options. There's a variety of plan options you can use, number of users, social media profiles that you have. But definitely it's something I know at TJ, we are recommending to a lot of other districts to use. Our staff member that utilizes it really likes it. It's very intuitive. She said it was very simple to learn. They'll walk you through how to set it up. There's lots of how-tos and helpful resources on tracking your success through social media. Anne, did you want to add anything about Hootsuite? I know that you've utilized it quite a bit here at TJ.
Hold on, sorry. Oh, there, I'm not on mute. Yeah, I think the other point you brought up earlier was having both Facebook and Instagram. And the nice thing about Hootsuite, which I think you mentioned, but once you hit post, it will post it to all your social media accounts in one click. So you don't have to worry about how you can have Twitter, you can have multiple social media pages, but if you use a tool like Hootsuite, you only have to post it once and it'll automatically push it to all of your social media pages. So that's really a time saver there as well. That was it.
All right, so you can see a little bit on the, this is the calendar. It's a very intuitive program, a lot of drag and drop, really easy to learn. There's a planner with a calendar, so you can set up each day's content or weekly content that you want to put out there.
I guess, yeah, Lisa, I'll add one more thing. If you scroll back to that calendar, one other thing that's nice is that if like our education team wants to post something on Thursday and our ag team wants to post something on Thursday, when you go to the calendar, you can kind of see if you need to space out, you might want to space out those posts so that you're not kind of competing with yourself or stepping on your own toes by having, you know, 5 posts go out on the same day. So by using the calendar and having everyone on your team, whether they're the education, ag, or, you know, the residential programs, you can also say, like, if you want 1 post going out every Monday, then, you know, or every Friday, or you want 3 a week or whatever, then you can utilize that calendar for a full team of people. And then everybody can add their own content. So at least they know they're not stepping on each other's toes.
That's a really great point, Anne. Thank you. I would highly recommend that, especially if your district puts out a post that's, you know, pretty timely. Maybe there's a really important deadline that day. You know, you may want to consider not posting other content on that day so that your really especially important post does not get lost in the mix of all the posts. So that's a great point. You definitely don't want to be competing with yourself, as you said. All right, are there any questions on, like I said, I know we could do a whole training on social media or Hootsuite, but are there any questions in the chat box about either of these?
Yes, there are a couple questions. Chris Denon wanted to know if you could talk about monitoring Facebook and Instagram, since we have some instances when some wackos were making nasty comments on their Facebook page. There have been a couple people who have commented to that, but if that's something that you would like to address as well.
Sure. So I'm assuming that's just general negative comments on posts or whatever, taking things in other directions. The thing that I would say to that is I would designate 1 or 2 staff persons to monitor your Facebook. I'm one of the monitors for our TJ Facebook, and so I get notifications on my phone when someone does comment on a post or makes, you know, tags us in a post or things like that. I would say designating a couple staff folks to monitor that. And you can always make comments within your post, you know, please keep comments respectful. Please don't turn this into a political argument or whatever the issue is. And also, you know, I hate to say it, but you can ban folks from your pages if it gets out of hand. But I think a gentle reminder to folks to keep the conversations positive, to keep negative comments out of your comments. You can also delete comments on Facebook as the page admin. You have the power to do that. So I would say take advantage of those things. It is your organization's page. As much as we don't want to, you know, squash free speech, if someone is taking a post and really taking it out into left field, into something that it should not be, you're the admin, you're the folks in charge of your own Facebook page. I would say take that power and stop that.
Yeah, you may want to check with your records management team. Actually, Lisa, I think Amy has indicated that we can't delete posts, that they're considered public record. And she's looking into some resources that will actually track all that information for us. I don't think it's an inexpensive process, but there is the ability to do that through a service. And I guess according to Amy, we're not allowed to. So that might be a really good follow-up discussion with the admin ops committee and then the marketing committee to, you know, to communicate on that subject. We did have one post not too long ago that I was not thrilled with, and Amy corrected me and said that I was not allowed to delete it. So it might be something we need to have a good discussion with for records when we talk about records management going forward. But thanks, that's a tough one.
That is a tough question.
Lisa, as someone else, and this may be something for the entire audience that can drop it in the chat box. If any districts use interns to help with social media tasks like this, like Facebook posting and maybe website, and go ahead.
I would say we do not. We have a paid staff person that assists with a lot of our social media. We're fortunate in that realm, but I would think that a savvy young intern would be wonderful at managing your Facebook and your Instagram. Like Anne alluded to, there are some rules with managing Facebook and Instagram for all of us. So, you know, getting that intern properly trained on how to manage and post to those sort of things. But I would think that'd be a great task. If anyone has any experience with that, other districts, like we were saying, if you want to put that in the chat box or speak up now, feel free to share any of your experiences with using interns for these sort of things.
And another question was, is there a cost associated with Hootsuite?
Yes, there is. So Hootsuite has plans depending on how many social media platforms you're going to link to Hootsuite, and I believe the number of users that will be using Hootsuite. So there's, when I looked into it, there were, I think, 3 different plans depending on what options you would choose.
And also, can you talk about how you increase traffic to your social media accounts?
For TJ, I think one of the most important things, like I was saying earlier, is following a lot of our partner organizations, tagging partner organizations in posts, sharing partner organization posts, going out and liking their pages. And then a lot of times when those pages get notified that you've liked their page, you know, they'll come back and like your page and gather followers. Also, encouraging your staff to share social media posts, encouraging friends of staff, family, that sort of things. You know, use your network, follow your county government, follow your locality, other organizations that are working within your community. This could be a great brainstorming project for a staff meeting. Everybody bring, you know, 5 partner organizations that we work with. to a staff meeting, and let's start following them on Facebook or Instagram. And, you know, it's not an overnight thing. A soil water district is probably not going to be your Instagram sensation or a viral thing, but slowly, I think you can start to gain followers. Also putting out great content, putting out relevant content, putting out informational videos or events that you're going to be hosting when in the community once we can do events again. Little by little, you will notice that you'll start to gain those followers. That would be my suggestion. If anyone else has any other tips on that, please feel free to share them.
Yeah, Lisa, and I'd like to add to that the TJ Ag team has come up with a really fantastic 12-month calendar of timely topics. So there's a certain time of year that, you know, invasive plant, addressing a certain invasive plants, it's like the right time of year. So we'll make sure that those posts that are going out, we're trying to time them with things that are really critical and important at the time they get posted. And so we're just, I think we're kind of in our first 6 months of trying it. But I think that has driven some more folks to our pages. And everything Lisa said earlier about the partners is really a big one. We did try paying for one of the, you know, paid things. And I think we paid $26 and we picked up, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe 60 to 100 new friends or new people that liked our page. So it was fairly successful. We haven't continued to do it, mainly just because we haven't had time to really kind of analyze if we want to do it and when and how often. But we did experiment, and that could be something you also just experiment. Just do a one-time, pick a topic, do a one-time paid push and see how that, you know, what the results are.
Thank you for that, Anne. Anne brings up a great point about the content calendar. Excuse me for a second. I'm trying to share my screen with all of you once again. Sorry about that. Okay, back on track. One thing that's here at the bottom of the toolkit on the social media page is this link, and I just tried the link and for some reason it is broken this morning, so I have to go back and fix that. I'll apologize. But one of the things the marketing committee has been working on the last 2 months is we created a sample social media content calendar specifically for soil and water conservation district outreach. And this is across ag, education programs, VCAP, and just also general posts. So this outreach calendar, when it is active on the toolkit, is an Excel spreadsheet that will show you month by month some ideas for social media posts that you can do, whether it's promoting you know, Conservation Stewardship Week, or promoting the photo contest, or promoting your annual report. Month by month, we've got examples that pretty much across the board for most districts would be relevant. So once the toolkit is active, we'll get this link fixed, and I would encourage folks to take a look at that. Can someone give me a time check? How are we doing on time? I want to leave a little time at the end for Chuck and for questions. We're at 10:40. Okay, so we need to hurry up a little bit. Okay, another section on the toolkit is designs and logos. If any of you are familiar with any of the other trainings that the marketing committee has done over the past couple of years, you'll know that many of us are a fan of Canva, which is an online graphic design platform that is easy to use, drag and drop features. You can create flyers, brochures. They've added presentations. They've added annual reports, social media posts. Canva, I highly, highly recommend it. It's very, very simple to use. There's a free program that has your basic features, but then there's also a pro version that's available for, I think it's $9.95 a month. Canva will really help elevate your outreach materials. If you're currently using something like Publisher or just Word to make brochures and flyers, I would encourage you to give Canva a try. Even somebody with very limited graphic design knowledge or even limited computer knowledge can use Canva. It's extremely simple, really, really easy to use, and I think will really elevate your materials into a professional look. So there's a link right here that will take you to Canva. Another great tool we've added, the DCR Conservation Marketing Warehouse, and I'm going to attempt to share this with everybody. The Conservation Marketing Warehouse, DCR, has some really fantastic PDFs available here on their website that have been developed, and these are free for districts to use. I'll just click on a couple of these so you can see there's some great flyers on stream exclusion, on no-till, things like that, that you can print out, take to your local printer, and start handing out to participants. Oh shoot, I lost my screen. Also on the Conservation Marketing Warehouse are logos that DCR has created. They're just like this logo that's down here on the toolkit. There's one for each soil and water district to use. Your name has already been put in there. There's a color version and a black and white version. If your district does not already have a logo and you need a logo, DCR has designed these. You can go ahead and download them right from the Conservation Marketing Warehouse and start using it in your own materials. So those are some really great resources for designs and logos, very simple to use. I hope folks will take advantage of those if you haven't already. We'll probably be doing some more advanced trainings on Canva as time goes on. I did a little training last year at the annual meeting on designing an outreach postcard in Canva. But that's something I would like to continue. We had a lot of interest in Canva after that training. So keep your eyes open for more training on that as we move along this year. Do we have any questions on designs and logos? I know I sort of went through that fast, but we're getting limited on time. But are there any questions on that?
No questions.
Okay. We will move along. Photos. So photos can really make or break your outreach materials. You know, keeping great photos on file, keeping a stockpile of photos that you can use across brochures, flyers, even social media posts are really valuable at getting your message across to your audience. If your staff has not already been taking photos, I would encourage you to encourage your staff at any opportunity to take photos. We've all got cell phones in our pocket that have pretty decent cameras. I would encourage you to encourage your staff when they're out in the field, when they're out at events, when they're out at completed projects, take photos, take before and after photos, and then upload those photos either into a shared file at your district on your network or on something like a photo sharing service, Google Photos, I think there's Flickr, things like that, a Dropbox account. And that way everyone's got access to the photos as they need them. When you're making marketing materials, when you're making social media posts, you've got photos ready to go. And you can categorize them into different programs, agriculture, VCAP, animals, community events, that sort of things. That way the photos will be really simple to go through, grab what you need. If you're still stuck for photos and you need more photos, on the toolkit, we've got some great websites that offer fantastic stock photos. I'm going to try to share these. One of them that I love is Unsplash. So these are stock photos that are free to use. You do not have to pay for them. You can use them in marketing materials. As you can see, they're quite beautiful. They're photos from all over the world submitted onto the site. Pixabay is another one. You can enter what kind of subject matter you're looking for up here in this toolbar. A lot of times it'll also allow you to further filter the photos into either a vertical photo or a horizontal photo, depending on what you need it for. And you can simply click here, download the photo, and use it for any of your marketing materials. So if you don't already know about these websites and you're looking for great stock photos that are free to use, I would encourage you to check out pages like Unsplash or Pixabay. Okay. And then also on the toolkit, we're going to have a link. This is a link to the photo contest winners and entrants on the association's webpage. These photos are available to all the districts to use for your outreach materials. So the link here will take you to the photos if you want to use those for your outreach materials. Here's another great library of fantastic photos, you know, submitted by community members all over the state that are free to use for your materials. Lastly, on the topic of photos, we've just got some great how-to articles on how to take better photos with your iPhone, helpful article on using stock photos. And then down here are photo editing programs that are free to use. So if you've got some photos, but you need to, you know, do some cropping, do some fixes to the resolution, and you're looking for some free programs to use, these two programs down here are fantastic. Any questions on photos from the chat box?
No. There was a question about, and I'm assuming you'll address this at the end, and I put something in the chat box about where we'll be able to access all this information in the toolkit.
Sure. The toolkit will be made available in the next couple of days on the association's website, and we're going to send out a big all district email that'll have a direct link to the toolkit once it's up on the webpage. So stay tuned for that. All right. One of the big topics in the toolkit, one of the hot topics of discussion with districts right now, due to our circumstances of not being able to have in-person events, is the making of videos. And a lot of districts who never had to make videos before, or never really had to think about videos because they did so many in-person events, are really having to look to online content in order to get, you know, either educational programming out there, or you know, information on different, you know, program offerings or teachings, that sort of things. So there's been a lot of talk within the marketing committee and folks like Chuck Moran, who's on the call right now, about what can the marketing committee and the association do to support districts in creating videos, editing videos, and that sort of thing. And I want to leave Chuck a little bit of time to talk about, there's an upcoming video training, but just real quickly on this marketing toolkit, we have kind of a plethora of video making platforms available depending on kind of what you're looking, what sort of equipment you're using. We've got some video making platforms for phones, for Apple, for Android, for desktop. We've got some open source things. We've got even some animated video platforms. If you're looking to make educational videos, some of these animated video platforms might be great options for getting words out to kids. So I would encourage, if you're looking for how to start making videos, to take a look at this toolkit, go through these different platforms, find one that's right for you. A lot of these are free or very, very low cost. iMovie, you can literally put that on your phone and shoot and edit videos on your phone or your iPad. That's what we've been using at TJ, and we really like it. There's also some helpful tutorials on how to edit videos, how to upload videos to YouTube, that sort of thing. So like I said, if you're looking to get into the video making world, this would be a great place to start. There is talk of and planning for a 3-day training with Chuck Moran, who is on the call of Bald Guy Studios here in Charlottesville, and the association. There'll be a 3-day training on how to make videos, how to edit videos, how to troubleshoot videos, and that sort of thing. I'm going to let Chuck speak a little bit about the plans for the video training. Go ahead, Chuck.
Sure. Thanks, Lisa. I have to say your toolkit really looks great. You put a lot of work into it, and I know the members of the districts are really going to get a lot out of it. In fact, just watching it, I was thinking how other organizations would really be well advised to create a toolkit like this as well, because my whole background is about branding. And so I think of things in terms of systems, and I think you've done a really great job to give people tools that they can fit into the brand that they want to present for their district. So nice job. As Lisa said, I'm Chuck Moran. I'm with Bald Guy Studio. I wear my brand everywhere I go. We're here in Charlottesville, and I was thinking that with all that's going on in the world, I feel like I should start this announcement by having a big red banner underneath my window that says breaking news. So as Lisa mentioned, the power of video is really astonishing. I think starting in 2015, people in the social media marketing space were saying, this is the year of the video. Well, then 2016 was the year of the video, and 17, 18, anyway, it's every year is the year of the video. So we are extremely pleased to announce an exciting new video creation workshop, which is designed to help districts learn how to create videos easily and with confidence. I know from my own background of being a little timid about getting in front of the camera that I had to go through a desensitization process, which I'm actually going to share during the workshop to be able to get on camera myself. And so I really do want to emphasize the ease of use and the confidence building that we hope to achieve during this workshop. And as Lisa says, we're planning on having the workshop take place over 3 days in March, subject to final details. We'll certainly let everybody know about what those dates are and the times. These are going to take place over 1 hour on one day, 2 hours on the second day, and probably 1 hour, hour and a half on the third day. So it's not, those are not long, formal, online, in-depth workshops. These are very basic, and we're going to be completely focused on getting you up and running quickly. Purpose is to show you how to use tools that you may already have, including smartphones and iPads. We're also going to cover processes, like Lisa mentioned, that will allow you to shoot, edit, and post online things like educational videos, PSAs, as well as interviews. And these, the techniques and tools that you'll get out of this will cover messages that you need to get out from all areas of your district. So whether it's your ag team or your urban team, depending on what your messages are, we hope to be able to give you the tools to be able to convey those messages. The whole world is turning to video for communication. Research shows that people are watching an average of 16 hours of online video per week now. And according to Google, YouTube reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds in an average week than all cable TV networks combined. YouTube reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds in an average week than all cable TV networks combined. So we'll be sending out information about the workshop in March pretty soon. And I really would like to thank the association and the Thomas Jefferson District for sponsoring our training. And at the end of it, we hope that you'll be able to look back and say that you've got all the tools and confidence that you need to easily create the videos that you need to get your messaging out in 2021. So thanks. Looking forward to working with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chuck. I know I've been hearing the buzz about the training from quite a few district staff people, and I think folks are really looking forward to this training. And I think we're all really excited that you're on board and you're going to teach us all the ins and outs of it. So thank you very much for all your help putting that together, and to the association and Ann Coates who led the charge from TJ to get us all a training for videos. Thank you. Were there any questions on videos for myself or for Chuck, if I can put him on the spot again for anything video related?
Someone had a question. Are there any resources for using Android phones that not everyone has an iPhone?
Okay. Yep, the Quick video, Quick mobile platform right here in the middle. I personally have an iPhone, so I'm not familiar with Quick, but I know from our marketing committee when we were putting together this list, Quick was one of the suggestions that actually came up quite a few times. I don't know if anyone on the call has had any experience with Quick, either for or against it, but I know that is an option out there for the Android users of the world. Any other questions from the chat box?
Yes, Karen had a question. Can Chuck recommend his favorite existing video training materials on YouTube?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a gigantic question that calls for a gigantic answer. So I have a number of people that I follow, but it really depends on what the question is relating to, because there are trainings on every aspect of video training. There high-end ones that have to do with digital single lens, reflex cameras, and fancy lighting and fancy teleprompter usage, all those kinds of things, as well as very basic ones. There are things that we're going to cover in the workshop about lighting and audio, the importance of those two. So I'm sorry to duck it, but there's just so much information out there that it's hard to be able to narrow it down to answer your question effectively. It depends on what you're looking for.
And one more question that I know will be covered in the training as well, but is there an ideal length for videos?
Again, here it depends. For things like an introductory video for the homepage on your website, and we will cover this, something like 60 to 90 seconds is about all the limit that the human brain has to be able to take in something like an introductory video. So for instance, if Anne wanted to do an introductory video for TJ on the homepage of the website that we built for them, she really should keep it to 60 to 90 seconds, not just be talking head. She should do a quick intro looking at the camera, good audio, good lighting, and then mix it up with some B-roll. We're going to talk about what B-roll is in our training, but it's basically stored snippets of video that you can salt into a presentation and learn how to edit those with iMovie and the various tools. And then probably conclude with her coming back on to welcome people to the website, tell them how to get around a little bit. So it depends on what you want. Longer form video is very welcome depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing an interview with a farmer and she's covering a whole lot of information about keeping cows out of the streams and fencing and runoff, you might want to break that into, do the interview and then break it into 3 or 4 3 to 5 minute chunks. So there's a lot of data out there about the proper length of video, but again, it gets back to the application. But to me, snackable is better, so shorter. One of the things that I do when I'm looking up how to do something, one of the first things I do when I look at that great big choice of, you know, this person, that person, this person, that person wants to tell me how to do what I'm doing. The very first thing I do is when I mouse over the thumbnail is look at how long it's going to take them to tell me what I want to know. If somebody's 12 minutes and somebody's 3, guess which one I'm going for? So short and sweet, edit, say it once if you can, get your message out there, move on. Those are some watchwords that we'll cover.
That's great advice, Chuck. Thank you so much for that. I love that term, snackable. I think that's fantastic. I'm going to remember that one.
Well, the thing is that people say we've got the attention span of a goldfish, and we really, honestly, the most valuable asset that any of us have as human beings right now is our attention. It's not our money. It really gets down to what we're going to put our attention on. So somebody who's trying to teach me something on using video, and they're going to take 12 minutes to do it. If I can learn it in 3 minutes, that means I can spend my attention on that 3-minute video, get what I want, move on with my day, instead of spending the other 9 wishing that I'd taken the shorter one.
Exactly. A great point. Were there any last questions on videos from the chat box?
No, that's it for the questions. If you want to address the approximately when the training is going to take place, there have been some questions about that.
Okay. I think the final date is in the works, but March is the month we're looking at. That's correct, Chuck and Ann?
Yeah, that is correct. We're waiting for a couple of other entities to get back to us to make sure we're not conflicting with other things that may be going on, but it looks like we're going to roughly start maybe the second week in March. The second training will be, the second component of the training will be a week and a half later, and the third one will be toward the end of March.
Great.
And
And
just
I know, go ahead, Ann.
just to add real quick, I believe if Bonnie could maybe jump into, we're going to send out a survey in advance, and then Chuck and I are hopefully going to put together an equipment list. Already purchased some equipment based on information we've been collecting, and we've got some lessons learned already. I had to return a couple things, and I had to get a couple extra pieces that I hadn't anticipated. So our goal will be to send out an equipment list in advance as well, so that if any of you all don't already have some type of equipment, at least you might know, you'll have time to maybe purchase a few things if you want to. And you can also use it just to see if it's something that you already have, and you may already have some of the equipment. TJ is right now leaning towards iPhones and iPads because for our purposes, we want to be spontaneous, quick. And then when we have things that are planned in advance and are going to be more intensive, then we'll use SLR cameras and things like that. But our first goal is to have everybody on our team be comfortable, and our team, for the most part, I think are all iPhone and iPad users. The benefit for us is that we can edit on the iPad itself, but we may change our mind after we do this for 6 months, but that's kind of the direction we're headed. So the equipment that we've purchased has been kind of in that vein. And again, we may change our mind over time, but that's where we are. So I want to make sure that everybody gets at least some ideas on what types of equipment, and that way if you need to budget for it or look in your storage closet, you may already have some things.
Great. Thank you for that, Ann. I think a list of equipment is going to be very helpful, especially for the districts who are going to be starting from scratch with making these videos. I think that's going to be really fantastic for everyone to have. Moving on, this is our final page of our toolkit as it stands right now. The last topic that we have is the discussion about elevator speeches. Some of you may recall, I think it was 2 or 3 summers ago, Emily Gibb, who was the marketing committee chair, did a really fantastic training about elevator speeches, creating an elevator speech at Graves Mountain. If some of you were had taken part in that training, this elevator speech creation worksheet is oh shoot, so the link is not working. I apologize for that. But this elevator creation worksheet is really fantastic for creating a really brief, 30-second overview of what exactly your district does. I don't know about all of you, but I've been asked by friends or family, what exactly do you guys do? What is a soil water district? And if you don't really have your words prepared, you can kind of stumble. It seems like it'd be a pretty straightforward question, but when you're really trying to explain everything that a district does, whether it be education or an ag program or VCAP, we all do so much. It can be hard to put that into a really clear, concise, short and sweet little speech about what exactly your district does and all the great work that you do. So we've encouraged, the marketing committee has encouraged all districts, all their staff members, all their directors to have an elevator speech in your mind, practice it, have one ready to go. So if you are meeting community members at a tabling event or meeting a lawmaker at, the lobby day at the General Assembly, or your Board of Supervisors, or whoever may walk through your office door, having a really clear, concise message on what exactly you do, straight to the point, is really going to help the community really understand what you're all about. So I would encourage folks to go through this elevator speech creation worksheet that Emily had provided. I will fix the link after we're done here. It really walks you through step by step, kind of outlining key points you want to make. It's a really simple process you can do. And at the end, you will come away with a nice little elevator speech that you can get in your memory and be able to say to anyone you may come across. There's also a great article here on how to nail your nonprofit elevator speech. I chose this article specifically because it is geared towards more of the nonprofit world, more than a business. And that's more, I know we're not strict nonprofit, but that's more in that realm of what we actually do. And then there's also a video here, YouTube video on some 9 mistakes to avoid. So I would encourage, if you've never thought about creating an elevator speech, read the article, watch the little video, and take a crack at trying out the worksheet and getting that elevator speech ready to go. Lastly, on the toolkit, if you're still stuck on ideas and you want to see what other soil water districts have been doing throughout the state, we have a small collection right now of newsletters, annual reports, that sort of stuff from around the state that the committee really liked, and we wanted to put out there on the toolkit as just in general inspiration. And again, like everything in the toolkit, we foresee this section growing as time goes on. I'd like to have lots of inspirational things to share from other districts. So if your district has a great newsletter that we don't have up here, or your annual report, you're particularly proud of it, please send it my way, and we'd love to have a link on there to your materials. Do we have any last questions on elevator speech?
No questions.
Okay. So that's the end of the toolkit. Like I said, so far, this is a first draft of the toolkit. We do envision this toolkit getting larger as the months and years go on, and we really want this to be just a one-stop shop resource library for everything marketing, everything outreach. So I would suggest, if you or your directors come across great how-to articles or videos that have helped your district answer a marketing related question or helped you figure out how to do something, please email me or consider joining our marketing committee. We're always happy to have new folks join us. You don't have to be, a marketing guru or the outreach coordinator in your office. We accept any district staff members or interested people who want to join the committee. Very open to having new members. I'll also say that if you've got some outreach materials that you're looking for some feedback on, if you want some new ideas how to freshen up some of your marketing committee, materials, if you'd like to present them at our marketing committee, we've got a lot of really talented folks on the committee who are always happy to lend advice or lend an eye to something. So if you'd like any of us to take a look at what you're doing and point you in the right direction or answer questions, please feel free to email me and I'll add you to our email list, and you can join us for we meet every quarter. So we're happy to have you. Does anyone have any final questions before we wrap up, either for myself or anyone else on the call, or for Chuck or anyone at the association?
There is nothing in the chat box.
Okay. Give everyone just a few seconds if anyone's typing, or if anyone wants to raise their hand if they've got anything.
I don't see anything.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining for the training and putting up with a few little technical snafus we had. Like I said, we're going to get the toolkit out there live on the association's website in the next couple of days. We will send out an email with the direct link, so keep your eye out for that, and spread the word about Toolkit to everyone on your staff to take a look at it. And please let me know if you have suggestions for improvement or other items to add to it. Thank you all so much for joining, and hope to see you all in person one day real soon.